Anyway, back to this movie. So I didn't know any of this stuff. This was a crazy, eye-opening doc to me.
I think we should just quick round of applause for the success of Bob Ross. Yeah, 80s, 90s. How many seasons did he do?
So many. Like I couldn't even keep track. There's so many.
A showman.
But yeah, mad respect for Bob Ross. And when I first heard about this doc, I heard that they were gonna they were throwing shade on Bob Ross, is what I thought. But that's not at all the case. It's more so the case.
His partners.
It's the people he was in business with. They were the problem. And this documentary shed light on that. So basically, and another thing, something that this did very well is they talked about Bob Ross as if you had never heard of him, which I like. They talk about his career, how he started, how he grew up, before they got into the whole business with how the business is the business of the business with all his coworkers being shitty and
He's in the military.
Yeah, he was in the military, and I thought he was in the army, but he was in the Air Force or
Something
I think
like that.
or the Navy.
Which is the last thing I thought he was before.
Yeah, that's right. And no, it's funny because he seems like the most peaceful human in the world. Painting these pictures and going, oh, I'll put a cute little bush here, or a happy little tree over here. And I've seen a few, like I haven't seen that much of it, but I've seen a few episodes of his show, and I get why it was a huge cultural phenomenon. You can see why people, because there's nothing else like that. Like, even though Bob Ross explained, or someone else explained in the doc, that there were people doing this before with painting on a video or on TV, but not in the calm sort of way that he was doing. Other people were sort of like yelling and be like, "This is how you do it." It was a much more calming presence, and it made you want to watch more. It was almost like ASMR before ASMR, and I think it is ASMR. I think it counts. It's a pleasing sound to hear his voice, and and they talk about this at one point in the doc. They say he was trying to do sort of like a sexy voice. He was trying to turn you on. Most of his audience is women.
Stroke it. That's good.
yeah, it's true. It's true. And I love parts of the show when he'd just take a moment. He's like, "Oh, this part takes a while, so let me show you this squirrel I found in a bush," or whatever. And he's like, "Isn't he a cute little guy?" And he'll just pet him. It's like, this guy's the best, you know. So obviously it's heartbreaking to know how mistreated he was in the business relationship. So the people that suck. Let's look up this doc, but I think one of them was called Annette.
Annette, yeah.
Yes, and then her husband was Walt, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say Walt.
That seems right.
Kowalski.
Well, Kowalski's the last name, and if this review is gonna give you anything, it should be that they suck.
Boo.
Because they took basically control over his name and his likeness, eventually, and they reap all the benefits from selling anything with his face on it.
Bob Ross Inc.
So like you've seen this shit. You've seen like the Bob Ross costume. You've seen the Bob Ross Chia Pet.
T-shirts.
And T-shirts, mugs. You've seen that shit. Anything like that goes to this sort of evil two people.
His son gets nothing.
Yeah. It's pretty fucked.
Not cool.
But yeah, I hope you come back though, Stevie. Everyone's gone. That's okay. But I really like this doc. It was interesting. And I don't know if there's another Bob Ross doc that exists, so I hope that just saying Bob Ross doc on the whiteboard is acceptable. And I think it is.
There's a lot about his son in this documentary too.
Well, yeah, because he's, I guess, the only living relative, it would seem, of Bob Ross. And he was on the show they showed. They showed him painting and stuff, and they both really liked it, but they had a little bit of a fall. I forget what it was about. They had a little falling out at one point, but then they did resolve it, I think. But a lot of it does revolve around his son. And what's his son's name? I forget. Let's look up the movie here. Bob Ross. What is it called? The subtext of the documentary. I'm just gonna type in Bob Ross.
Happy Accidents, Betrayal, and Greed.
Right. I'm gonna see if it'll just come with documentary. No. I'm gonna try to type this in. You wanna go on? You wanna go on about this?
Yeah, it is a well put together documentary.
Mhm.
They got lots of interviews with people that knew him, and his son obviously has a lot to do with it. It's pretty heartbreaking stuff going on. He had one of his he got divorced, I think. Yeah, he got divorced from his first wife, and then his second wife passed away of cancer, and then he got cancer eventually, and was suffering, I guess, for years while still filming, which is pretty amazing to think about him filming like 3 episodes a day.
Yeah,
on the slowest day.
That was nuts. But it's cool too because like think about other TV shows, and how much like would go into the production, with actors and lights and sets. His set was just like a black sheet and just the painting, and it's just him, for the most part. There's other little things.
Microphone, and that's it.
It's pretty amazing to have that low of a budget and low production value, but still be so entertaining and captivating, and capture the imaginations and the hearts of so many people.
And I think the best moment of this documentary is when he went to Day in the Park in Central Park, and people found out that Bob Ross was there, and there was just like swarms of people with paintings that looked just like his, and all kinds of stories about people turning their lives around because of painting. And his son said that he really didn't understand how big of a name his dad had until he was at the Central Park thing, so that was pretty sweet.
Yeah. And yeah, his son was supposed to get like part of the rights, but it just sort of was a fuck up. Like Bob Ross tried to leave the rights to his son, but he left 51% to this other guy.
His half-brother.
Because he thought that because he was an adult, he'd be the wiser decision maker, but that did not turn out to be the case, because he ended up selling his shares to the Bob Ross Corp, which is owned by these evil people, Annette and Walt Kowalski. And so they control all the money. They get 100% of all the money from all that shit. And Steve doesn't get any of it. Steve Ross, that's his name, right?
Yep.
And he doesn't get any of it, even though he was supposed to. So it's fucking bullshit. And it kind of makes you mad, but it's a well put together doc, for sure. And it sheds light. I feel like a lot of people didn't know about this. I feel like I'm not the only one who watched this and was like, oh, that was quite shocking to find this out. Because before this, it's like, oh, you see Bob Ross cheap pet, and you're like, oh, I would assume that would go to their family or something, or where it's supposed to go. And it's just, it's not where it should be, in my opinion, going.
Probably happens a lot, too.
Yeah, no, and it totally probably does.
It's eye-opening.
Yeah, well-made doc. I don't really have much negative to say about the doc made. I mean, it's maybe like a little depressing, but that's not really negative because it's truthful. But yeah, no, I liked it. I guess one thing I would say is that it's like a lot of things. You got to be in the mood for this, I'd say, because it is pretty heavy at times. They talk about Bob Ross having cancer and dying and stuff, and I think they handle that pretty well. They do the timeline pretty well because it's pretty linear. They don't bounce around too much. I don't really like it when they do that in docs. It was relatively linear. They maybe bounced a little bit, but not too much.
No, not really.
They did not really, no.
The Kowalskis, I was gonna say, did an interview in this movie, and they refused to. But at the same time, they said that their relationship with Bob Ross was never strained at any point. So it's like, okay, well, if your relationship was
bullshit.
always if your relationship was always good, then why wouldn't you be in the documentary about him?
Yeah, that's total bullshit.
Yeah, that's why you're not doing the interview, because things got strained, obviously. Like,
no, exactly.
Yeah.
You can tell. You can tell it's a bunch of bullshit. But Bob Ross, rest in peace, rest his soul. he seemed just like such a nice guy, you know. And yes, Stevie, you very well might cry if you watch this, because I think you're a fan, and you got a tip that you might cry. You might, but it's a good film. If you're ready to cry, watch
It's worth
it.
watching, yeah.
But it was eye opening, I would say. But I liked it, and G Bergs liked it. I'm running, and I couldn't find a Wikipedia page for it, by the way. Well, and that's just the way it is sometimes. But running out of stuff to say about it.
I would recommend, yeah. If
Do you
you're
wanna-
interested in knowing about Bob Ross, it's seemed factual. I didn't really fact check it or anything, but
It seemed legit because they're talking to people that worked with him, so I believed it.
yeah.
So
they got
I feel like
pictures and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, another thing that I did want to talk about, a kind of funny part. There was when they talked about how you wouldn't maybe think it, but Bob Ross was almost sort of a sex symbol. Like women loved him. Women absolutely loved him, and I think Bob Ross kind of liked that too.
Most of his audience was women.
But at one point he's like, you gotta help me, like they're grabbing me, like they're
Yeah.
physically hurting me. It's almost like when the Beatles, when they were running away from women and almost getting hurt.
They're apparently trying to rip out a chest hair.
Yeah, they were
trying to get a chest hair.
They were trying to get his hair.
Which would
or something.
hurt, yeah.
That would hurt
wouldn't
so
feel
much.
good.
Bob had that smooth soul singer voice. Yeah, I would listen to an album of him, even just talking over music, like rapping, but singing too. Yeah, I see what you mean, Stevie. I'd listen to him do anything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway, you ready to rate this?
I think so,
Okay.
yeah. I don't know how high to go.
I'm
How
going.
good could it have been? I don't really know. I'm gonna go like 7.5.
I'm going with my standard, like, good, don't have much bad to say about it, doc rating, which is 8 out of 10.
Right. I'm pretty much right there with you.
Because it was revealing, but it was still pretty standardly made, I would say.
I'm gonna agree with this.
But it was
8 out of 10.
it was good, 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10 birds.
And I would recommend it for anybody who's a fan of Bob Ross and who wants to really see every part of this. And I would call it a scandal, even though it's been happening for so long. Oh boy, it's freezing again. No. Oh wait, did we save it? Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Yeah! Hell yeah. Okay, that's the thing. I feel like we could have even caught the last time. When I click the low latency button, for some reason I feel like it fixes it sometimes. Oh, you see? I spoke way too soon. Oh, but it's back.
Good.
Oh, be chill, internet.
Chill, internet, chill.
What did you guys figure about my idiot brain connecting King to Fever Pitch? Oh, I don't know. I took your word for it that he directed it.
That blows my mind.
I don't know.
Well, he
is
must
it
have
true?
wrote it.
Should we Google it right now?
He must have wrote it.
Let's Google it.
No.
Stephen
directed
King. Fever Pitch.
Yeah.
Not Stephen King. Stephen King. Fever Pitch. What did he have to do with it? Did he write this shit?
Should we just go right into the next rom-com with this? Jerry?
What Stephen King and Fever Pitch have in common? The Red Sox fan fesses up to owning a Boston-themed bedspread and a ceiling mural depicting his favorite team stomping ground.
Oh, I get it.
What Stephen King and Fever Pitch... But I don't. You get it? I don't get it.
They're comparing Jimmy Fallon's character to Stephen King.
Oh.
Jimmy Fallon's character's got Boston Red Sox bedspread and sheets and he's got Yankee toilet paper. Like it's got the Yankees imprinted on it, so you can wipe his ass with the Yankee symbol.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Is Stevie
It's intense.
Is Stevie satisfied with this?
I think that's what it is.
Ooh, what's up? Okay, Bob. Oh, I already read that. I'm convinced he was involved in that one somehow. Okay, fair enough. Jug, watch this one.
What, Fever Pitch?
It's cute. Fever Pitch? Maybe.
It's a
Maybe
good one.
one
It's a
day.
good rom-com if you're a sucker for
I don't know if I
rom-coms.
have access to it, though.
But you're not a big baseball guy, though.
I don't... Yeah, but if it's a comedy, I'll give it more of a shot. You know? And I liked
'Cause
Moneyball.
It shows more of him and his friends in the stands than it does of
The sport?
of the baseball.
Okay, I might be okay with it.
Yeah.
I'll look it up maybe after this. We'll see.
And it's a lot of Drew.
We shall see,
Lord
guys.
Jimmy.
And then I'll keep you guys in the loop because you're movie review dream team. Movie review dream team. Anyway, it's not about baseball. It's about dating a sports fan. Yes, yes.
Yes, that's what it's about.
Does Heather Graham show up in this one? In the Bob Ross documentary? I don't know. Who's Heather Graham? Or in Fever Pitch?
No.
I don't know what's going on. We're gonna move on though. Movie review Booty Crew. Oh yeah, that's us. I get what you're saying. Okay.
Booty Crew movie review.
I gave this 8 out of 10. We didn't do the thing where I do this. Are you giving it 8 out of 10 too?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
8
both
out of 10.
giving it 8 out of 10.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, pretty well made doc, I would say.
It's been a